typing class. Thought I'd read you a little bit more as it's the weekend soon. And I'm intrigued as to find out what's happening next in Ghost Post. So here goes. Next chapter. Mayor Merriweather, Becky and Jimmy positioned themselves around the bedside cabinet in Becky's spare room. Becky rubbed her hands in anticipation. What's the plan? We're going to try to bottle Walter Anion, said the mayor. Jimmy frowned. Bottle him? That's right. Do you have the corked bottle? Becky handed the mayor an empty wine bottle that Jimmy's mum had been throwing out when she'd asked for one. He placed it on top of the cabinet. Now we need 4 candles. He removed some from his pocket and gave them to Jimmy. Place them evenly round the bottle, he instructed. Jimmy carefully arranged them and the mayor struck a match and lit each one in turn. The flames flickered for a moment and then settled into steady points of light. With the curtains drawn, Becky thought the candlelight highlighting the mayor and Jimmy's faces made them look really creepy. How are we going to get him into the bottle? Asked Becky. It won't be dangerous, will it? Said Jimmy. Not according to Eric. I'm just following his instructions. Jimmy, hold the bottle steady. If it starts to shake, don't let it fall over. Becky, keep an eye out for a blue light. That will be Walter taking the heat from the candles. Mayor Merriweather took a deep breath and leant forwards. Rest, spirit, rest, he said. The room around them was in dead silence. Nothing moved. Well, he's definitely resting, said Jimmy nervously. Nothing happened. Jimmy, shh, said Becky as she focused intensely on the candles, and the mayor continued. Take the energy from our candles. It's all for you, Walter Anion. One of the candles on Becky's side of the cabinet flickered wildly and with a flash of blue went out. She gasped and Jimmy grabbed her hand. Hold on to the bottle, Jimmy, she reminded him. Does the blue light mean he's here? Yes, and we've got his attention, said the mayor. Eric says the ghost will find the energy from the candles irresistible. He should now float into the centre of the candles so he can enjoy all their energy at once. They waited. Becky gritted her teeth. Come on, Walter, she muttered. A small draught whisked them around and another candle went out. How are we going to know if Walter goes into the bottle? Becky asked. Just keep looking for the blue light, and if it all goes to plan, he will be sucked down into the bottle and it will glow blue, said the mayor. Come on, make your move. The final 2 candle flames reached up, tall and thin. They changed to an intense blue colour. Look, said Becky, look. Then it vanished. The room plunged into darkness. Mayor Merriweather walked away from the cabinet. Becky looked round anxiously. Did it work? We came so close, but sadly not. The bottle isn't glowing blue, and when all the candles go out, that is the end of it. Could we try again? Asked Jimmy. He won't fall for the same trick twice, said the mayor. My instructions say that you only really get 1 shot at it. I can't believe we've got so close, Becky groaned. When they stepped out of the post office, ducking under the wood panels covering the top half of the entrance, they saw Mr. Finch walking determinedly over to them. Becky braced herself for his anger. We've been talking, he said. But his voice wasn't too angry. It was cold and calculating, which was possibly scarier. Me and a group of others who are affected by this curse, we have a new plan. And that is? Mayor Merriweather asked sceptically. We think the most effective way to get rid of the ghost is to destroy the post office. Knock it down. Without it, Walter Anion's curse will be nothing. No, you can't, Becky burst out. It's my home. For goodness sake, are you thinking straight, man? Or has the curse affected your mind too? Said the mayor. Knock down the post office? Don't be so ridiculous. Mr. Finch glared at them and spoke as if he was reading from a script. I implore you to consult the Thistlewick Code of Practice and demand that Code 3 is put into action. Becky frowned and asked Mayor Merriweather, what does that mean? The mayor's eyes never left Mr. Finch as he talked. It is a law of Thistlewick that any person wishing for something to happen has the right to put it to a vote of the people. Mr. Finch is demanding that we vote on whether the post office should be knocked down. Well, I vote it shouldn't, Becky shouted. Me too, said Jimmy. That isn't how it works, said Mr. Finch. Shall I prepare the document, Mayor? Then we can see what everyone else thinks. You do that, the mayor replied gravely. Lying in bed in Jimmy's spare room, Becky felt like a big ball of panic rolling down a never-ending hill of worry. So many bad things had happened in such a short space of time. On the phone that night, Mum sounded like she had no energy left. Over on the mainland, she was doing all she could to save her livelihood. Becky would now have to fight to save the post office on Thistlewick. Mayor Merriweather had told her not to be concerned. There was not a chance that people would vote to knock down the post office. It was just Mr. Finch being a fool. After everything that had gone on already, though, Becky couldn't feel confident. She knew it was all up to her now. The mayor had tried his best, but Walter's ghost wasn't having any of it. Becky had to stop the curse. She was sure that if she could just figure out the reason for Walter's ghost turning up in the first place, that would help. Becky fell into an uneasy sleep. It wasn't long before she saw the familiar vision of the beautiful woman's face. Her eyes were still as blue as the sky on the best day of summer. The wind gently ran its fingers through her hair. "What are you trying to show me?" Becky thought. The image changed. Now there was a different picture of the woman. This time she was with a young, tall man. They looked happy, smiling into each other's eyes. "I recognise both of you," Becky thought. "But who are you?" Around the man's neck was a brown bag, the same as Becky used for delivering the post. She saw his green eyes. It was Walter, from when he was a young man. But where had she seen the woman? She thought back to the paintings. In the Thistlewick family, an intimate biography. Becky shook herself awake. She realised the visions she'd been having were of Coral Ann Thistlewick, who she suspected was Spooky Steve's ancestor. And now she had seen a vision of Coral Ann with Walter Anion. Becky had found the connection between Steve and the ghost. Becky snuck into the white wing and waited until Mrs. Galway disappeared into the back room. She slipped behind the bar and found the list of room numbers. It said that Steve was in room 27. She climbed the stairs to the rooms quietly and crept past all the other numbers until she got to room 27. Becky knocked on the door. "Is that you, Mrs. Galway? Could you fetch me some more water?" came a familiar voice. Becky opened the door and found Steve slouched in the chair by a window reading a newspaper. He didn't look ill at all. "You didn't tell the truth," she blurted out more aggressively than she'd intended. "Becky, what are you doing here?" "Why didn't you say that you're part of the Thistlewick family?" she demanded. "How did you find out?" Steve looked shocked for a few seconds, then sat up. "There's no point in keeping it a secret now, I suppose. Hunting Ghosts with Spooky Steve has been going on for 9 series. Why do you think it's taken us so long to visit Thistlewick Island, one of the most haunted places in the world?" "I don't know," Becky replied. "I've been avoiding coming here because I've been trying to avoid my family's past. Coral Ann Thistlewick is your great-great-great-great-grandmother, isn't she?" "Yes," Steve admitted. "Although you need to add a few more greats on. She lived a long time ago." "That's why you asked Albert about her ghost. And I think it's why her brother appeared to me so strongly on Barefoot Bay. He realised our connection." "So what's your connection to Walter Anion?" Becky asked. "None. I do not have anything to do with him," he said quickly. "Yes, you do." Becky moved towards Steve. "While you've been tucked up in here, I've been having visions of Walter with Coral Ann Thistlewick. She was connected with him in some way, and because you're her descendant, you must be connected with her too. And to him." Steve sighed. "Craig was wrong about you. You're a very clever girl, Becky. I see that now. I can't hide anything from you, can I?" "No, because that's all you've been doing, hiding up here while Walter Anion has been doing so much damage to Thistlewick. And you haven't been cursed, have you? Look at you. You're fine." "Becky, I was so shocked that night, but I honestly don't know if I have been cursed, but the shock affected me badly. You're a ghost hunter. You're used to seeing ghosts. Why should you be shocked?" "I was shocked because it wasn't just Walter Anion who recognised me. I recognised him too." And we'll stop there. More next week.